didn't have all that caked on residue when I drove with the machine. And so I My name is Larry. I'm from Illinois. I've had the bookstore for 13 years. I grew it from 8,000 books to about 50,000. Square footage is a lot larger than I started with as well. The Kindle and things of that nature are a convenience, but many people still prefer a book because it's tangible. But people like the tangibleness of a book, the smell, the atmosphere. When individuals are looking for books in a bookstore, they come across things they would never see. Whereas when you're looking at books on the internet, usually it's very specific, and you don't have, you don't have the camaraderie of talking with someone. It's interesting that when I listen to conversations, and as well with me, people like to talk about particular authors and particular stories they've read. And when they find people of common interests, it strikes up a good conversation. They make new friends.
Good.
When books come in, the way I operate my business is people trade books, usually for credit, and they use that credit to buy other books and then a few extras so that I have enough money to keep the store open and make a living. But once in a while, when people bring books in, like from an estate or something, there are all kinds of odd things in there that you may not see otherwise. And so for me, it's like having Christmas every once in a while. I don't know what I'm saying. What am I saying? Well, I have a large variety.
Mm-hmm.
I try to give a fair price on my books, and I sell it for a fair price. And so there is a niche for each type of book. Even when books don't meet up the standards of condition that would warrant them being in the store, I mark them way cheap. Of course, I don't give much for them, but I put them outside at $1 a piece, and they sell. There are some encouraging things that I've experienced since I've had the bookstore. My wife and I went away for a week about 3 years ago, and when I came back, there was $71 on the floor that people had purchased books from outside and slipped the money in the mail slot.
Wow.
And I didn't tell them to do that. But people automatically did, because outside I've got books that are tattered,
mm-hmm.
or they just don't have much likelihood of selling. So I put them out there real cheap. My customers and my patrons are very good people, very honest.
Great.
And when I saw that $71 on the floor, my heart just soared.
Oh.
Because I realized there are a lot of good people.
Good people.
But you don't see that in the news. Usually you'll see, well, so-and-so broke in and stole something. But
yeah.
At first, a few years ago, when I started leaving them out there, and I would come and I'd see a few books missing, I'd get irritated. But then something came over me, and it was almost like the voice and said, what's $2 or $3 or 2 or 3 books? It's not going to break you.
Wow.
But when I see the generosity of people, how they treat me, it's very encouraging.
Wow.
And so it's a rewarding type of business. For me, it is. Have all that caked on residue in a with the machine. And so I took the bad scratches out, then I put it on the machine, buffed it out really quick. For book lovers, I have a good selection. I've got about 50,000 books of all kinds of categories. They're reasonably priced. People still like books. Not everybody reads on the internet. And those that don't care for books, they probably never have cared for books, so they're not going to come into a bookstore usually anyways.